In this episode of the skimboarding series in New Zealand, I'm going to touch on what is probably one of, if not the best, flatland skim spots or spots in the country. This is, of course, Waiwera or Wendeholm. Now, I've said Waiwera or Wendeholm because these beaches are right next to each other, and historically they have treated us. There's always been a fair amount of sand movement at these beaches, resulting in either Waiwera or Wendeholm being very good. And that's very easy to skim those spots because they're right next to each other. They must be, what, a kilometre or so apart of a drive, something like that. They're literally just around the headland from each other. Very simple to get to. And of course Waiwera, most people would know of Waiwera because of the Waiwera hot pools, which I believe are shut now. I think I've heard that. I'm not even 100% sure on that, but most people know Waiwera because of the thermal hot pools that were there for years and years and years. And probably a little bit off topic to this, and I'll try to dig up an old clip. What we actually used to do when we skimmed there in the middle of winter, one of the skim pools used to be right on the edge of the outflow from the hot pools, and we used to dig a little channel, the outflow from the hot pools, which was hot water that used to run out onto the beach, and we'd dig us like a spa pool in the sand and have a spa pool pretty much while we're skimming. Anyway, go back to this. Waiwera Wendeholm is on the northern, probably outskirts or northern end of the northern motorway heading north of Auckland. It's probably half an hour, 20 minutes, something like that, from Auckland's Harbour Bridge. Very easy to get to, very easy to find. We don't need to sort of go too much into the depths of that, but what you're going to expect when you get to these areas. Now, as mentioned, I'm covering both of these together because through the years we have gone through phases of Wendeholm being the best for a year or two, and then Waiwera being the best. I think overall probably Waiwera has been the most consistent and slightly more user-friendly area than Wendeholm, but they've both been fantastic through the years, and you pretty much won't know what is the best one until you get there. So now, of course, for flatland, like 90% of flatland, I'm going to say probably around the world, or certainly in New Zealand, you want to be going at a low tide. The good thing about Waiwera and Wendeholm is that you don't need a really low tide like some other spots that I will be touching on. You pretty much just need it mid or lower, something like that. And Waiwera and Wendeholm typically both offer up very long durations in that tide. You'll usually get about something like a 7 or 8 hour tide window, or something off the top of my head. It was always a very flexible and very long number, which basically means for a great window of time on a weekend day to go skimming. You want to get there to the main parts of the beach and just stroll down and have a look for tidal pools. One thing to note, and this is usually the reason why one is better than the other, is they can get quite shelly. Now, I don't like shells. I don't like skimming around a lot of shells. It's hard on your body when you're falling a lot, especially with flatland. You can get cut to hell. I've got 2 scars on this hand here from literally just falling on shells. So this is something to note. If one beach looks particularly shelly and not really that user-friendly, go to the other beach and check. What you see there, what you can get at both these beaches is just huge tidal pools. We've bungeed down them in the past. I would have loved to have winched down them. Typically you're offered multiple tidal pools of just perfect flatland. And that's really sort of about it when it comes to touching on flatland spots. As long as the tide is below mid, you're probably pretty much good to go. Obviously everyone's wind tolerance is different, but overall just a fantastic couple of spots to skim. As mentioned, I think it's probably the best, some of the best, if not the best, sort of tidal flatland spots anywhere can dish up, especially within the Auckland area, because Auckland doesn't feature a lot of clean flatland orientated spots. It does have a few which I'll be touching on in future videos. I myself haven't skimmed there a lot in the last couple of years and haven't filmed there a lot, but I will be digging through hard drives to find a lot of old footage because there is a lot featured in the past on these 2 spots. So that's it, pretty much just a straightforward video on the Waiwera and Wendeholm area. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment box below if you feel like getting in touch. All my details and social media links, website links where you can view my full product range is down there, oaccessskimboards.co.nz, and feel free to subscribe to this channel and get along in my video list up top. And I'm trying to build out a very extensive list and library of skimboarding related videos. These are of course not just full on how to skim videos, but documenting a lot of the stuff around New Zealand. I'm Sam Price, I'll see you at the beach.